What's up, Big Blue Nation? Welcome to the Wildcat Zone. I am your host, Daniel Bentley. Uh, this is my first time kind of doing a podcast. I just recently wanted to try to start reviewing games, give my thoughts, and just see where it goes for myself. I kind of just doing this as a hobby. Uh, I've been a fan of the Kentucky Wildcats as far as I can remember. Um, so I just want to go over my first episode being our great, maybe possibly season saving win over an old rival in Indiana. We hadn't played them in 10 years. I was really excited for this matchup going into the year when they announced it. It was like, heck yeah, we get to play some games that we hadn't got to play in a while. It's like a marquee game that we used to play every year, and then they just kind of let go of it. Um, so I just want to go over, my thoughts on the game, and go over some kind of a season recap up to this point, my thoughts on it. We start off the season, we're playing these no-name teams. Jalen Lowe gets hurt in the blue and white game, dislocates his shoulder. You know, I'm thinking, I think we'll be all right. We beat Purdue in an exhibition game that doesn't matter. But on paper, it makes Big Blue Nation, fly off the handle, thinking that, hey, we got the team to beat this year. A lot of people don't really remember that, hey, Jalen Lowe didn't play. We had Denzel Aberdeen as our point guard, and I don't think Purdue was ready to play in that kind of environment. They come in, they're not used to playing in my opinion, they're not used to playing in a physical conference. They come into an SEC conference inside Rupp Arena, prime time, against guys that have been chomping at the bit to play other people. They've been playing against each other in practice, all summer long. Come in, we beat Purdue, the preseason number one pick. So, the following week we get punked by Georgetown. They come in and beat us on our own floor, and it's an exhibition game. It don't matter, right? But little did we know this would lead to a very not so good first half of the season. And I know we just kind of got into this season. We're used to playing these big matchups against people. We start off our first true road game up the road to Little Brother Louisville. We go up there and we're getting dog walked, in my opinion. We showed a little flash there at the last 2-3 minutes left in the game. We started coming back. We got within 4. And in my mind, I'm like, hey, we're going to come back and beat them. They had a couple errors. Louisville couldn't miss. We lost. Right. Losing to Little Brother, it sucks. They get the bragging rights for the rest of the year. So we move on down. We get embarrassed by Michigan State in a game that I thought we could possibly win. I was wrong. We were out there. It didn't look like we knew what we were doing. Them boys did not look like they wanted to play. It didn't look like they wanted to play with each other. And then it showed. It showed on the court. Everybody was trying to get their shots, get their 10 points, get their points in. All right. That's not Kentucky basketball. They got to play team ball to be successful. We go on a little bit down the road. North Carolina comes to Rupp Arena, and they punk us on our own floor. Me personally, I thought we had that game won. And I knew 8 minutes, They said 8 minutes. Kentucky has not scored a field goal. That's when I knew, yeah, we're going to lose this game. We're going to lose this game to North Carolina. And sure enough, that is exactly what happened. And we fast forward a little bit. We go to Nashville, Tennessee. In a game that I thought was going to be a decent back and forth game. I did not think we were going to win it. But I definitely didn't think we were going to get blown out the way we did. Gonzaga just was getting anything they wanted. We just looked lost, man. These guys just didn't look like they were in it from the get-go. Everybody was just jogging up and down the court. You know, we get embarrassed. It's a big national thing, you know. What's happened to Kentucky basketball? They're one of the biggest disappointments in the first quarter of the year, which is true. Some of these games we should have won. We should have beat Louisville. We definitely should have beat North Carolina. We had that game in the bag. But we dropped the ball. So then we get to North Carolina Central, the game we played before we play Indiana. First half is the same stuff we keep seeing. The guys just playing for themselves. And then you see Coach Pope come alive finally, getting somebody's rear end about not hustling back down on defense. And from that point on in that game, then boy, I mean, we were going to win that game regardless, right? It's some little school that we're paying to come play us, right? But we should have won by more. We didn't even make the spread in that game. That's how bad we played. That's how bad offensively that we played. So going into this game against Indiana, I did not know what to expect. I expected a back and forth game, but I ultimately thought, in my opinion, I thought we were going to lose. I thought we were going to blow it like we did the North Carolina game. I didn't have high expectations, right? I don't think anybody did. And you know, Indiana comes to town. It's a big rivalry. Rupp's packed. And we go out there. First half is terrible offensively. We look like we couldn't buy a bucket, even if we tried. It was about sort of the same stuff that we've seen in the prior games before. I did like the starting lineup we had of, you know, Noah, Chandler, Owe, Aberdeen, and Moreno. I do like that lineup, but they weren't hitting shots. I mean, your two guys that are your 3-point shooters weren't making shots. You know, we get in the second half, and Pope puts in Jalen Lowe and Mo Diabate, and something just clicked. You could tell. For like the last 10 minutes, them guys were firing on all cylinders. And in my opinion, I think we figured out how we need to play. You know, these guys showed hustle. They showed everything that we've been asking for weeks. For weeks. They showed heart. They were diving on the floor for loose balls. You had Mo Diabate. He was going to get that rebound. He didn't care how many Indiana players were there. He was going to get that ball. And that's what I've been wanting to see from him, because I remember him from last year. He tore us up in rebounds last year when he played for Alabama. That's what I was really excited to see. I mean, the guy, he can't really do much, but he's a good defender, right? And we didn't have a lot of that last year. Of course, I'm not really going to compare last year's team because it was kind of like a honeymoon session, and we didn't have expectations on how good our guys were going to be last year. All right. Well, something clicked with this team. And something clicked with the coaching staff and Mark Pope. Something has changed, and I can see it just based on how he played. Um, he didn't do very many substitutions. He kept the guys in that were hot. Yeah, Jalen Lowe, he's showing flashes of what he can be. I mean, he's not going to have good games. I don't think. I mean, he'll have some games that he's going to be good. Some games you're going to be like, why did you do that? But that's with every player, right? Um, Ultimately, we end up getting the dub, and I think this team needed this win. I know Big Blue Nation needed this win. Because, man, if we'd have lost this game, I think the wheels would have fallen off. You know, especially if we'd have lost this game and them not play and show any heart, I think the wheels would have fell off. But ultimately, we got the win. Brandon Garrison, I want to say welcome back, my friend. This is the stuff that we seen last year that we wanted to see from you this year, even though it's taken a couple months to get that. I guess getting benched for a whole second half of a little North Carolina Central game opened up some eyes. So I want to preview a little bit of the St. John's game. I'm kind of excited to see how we'll do. I don't know if we'll win. Now, if the team that showed up against Indiana in the last 8 minutes, that was fighting for rebounds, playing defense, getting back, making shots, I think we got a shot. All right, and what would be sweeter than to beat your old coach, former nemesis, return nemesis, really. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for this season after what I've seen. I know it's going to be ups and downs, but I think in general, I think we will be okay. I think we will make the tournament in March. I think the SEC is not as good as it was last year, so I think we can get some road wins. We can beat people, and we'll get in the tournament. It may not be a high seed, but I think we got a chance, especially when we get everybody in line, the rotations right. If these guys can buckle down, play defense, get turnovers, get some rebounds, and make some shots, I think we'll be okay. This team's not going to be your typical Mark Pope team. The run and gun offense, all gas, no brakes. I think these guys, they got to lock down and get stops. They got to win games the old-fashioned way with defense. But just like our football team has shown, defense don't always win you ball games. You got to be able to score points. And I think over time, when these guys get more comfortable, we'll see a lot more points get scored. I think everybody will have their game that, hey, will be their game, right? Everybody, every year since Coach Cal has had a game where they've had a coming out party where it's like, hey, I'm here. This is what I can do. So that's pretty much it. This is going to wrap this up for my first episode. I appreciate you guys listening. There will be more to come. For this channel, I'm really going to talk more about any news, mainly just reviews of the games, my thoughts, my comments. So feel free to follow me on Facebook. I'm still kind of setting things up. I'm going to create a Twitter and a Instagram page, and I have a Facebook page. I'm also going to be posting these podcasts on YouTube. My channel is Wildcat Zone. I am your host, Daniel Bentley. And always, Godspeed, go Big Blue, and go Cats.